Howdy folks, Timber Drifter here. And Bandy the cat. So, I'm out here doing a little bit of logging, or I was, carrying some smaller logs out of the bog. I made a couple of videos where I was doing that, I think last winter or spring. But I was just getting ready to start the video a few steps back that way, after having carried a log out. And all of a sudden I hear, wow! And it was Bandy the cat letting me know that he had followed me. Where'd he go? He's staying off camera. There he is. He moves around too fast. But I'd been working, I'm just in a kind of a little bay of a very large bog, so sort of a horseshoe bay, what would have been a lake 800 years ago before it filled in with sphagnum moss. I know. No, don't jump up here. So he must have been over on the other side and heard me working and made his way all the way across the bog following me. And he's adventure kitty, so he's happy to be out doing something. So it looks like he'll be accompanying us. But anyway, I left my axe in the crotch or union of a tree over here. So I gotta go retrieve that. And we didn't have as much rain this year or as much snow last winter as we had the last 4 or 5. So although the bog isn't dry, it's certainly not underwater like it has been the last few years. Right behind me here, this would have been standing water. So you can still step off in a pretty deep spot if you're not careful, and I did that the other day. I ended up belly button deep in what I'm calling quicksand. It's just like in the movies. The suction was incredible. It took me a while to get out of it. I was actually jumping over. I was attempting to jump over with about a 16-foot log on my shoulder. Not a real big one, not heavy, but real long. And it snagged up on something behind me and kind of jerked me out of the air when I was jumping, and I went right down in this muck. And went a little bit over knee deep, filled my boots up, and realized, like, I can't get out of this stuff. I couldn't move my legs. And I was very slowly sinking. Every time I moved, I'd sink a little bit more. The log I was carrying, when I fell in, it broke. So I got that on the solid land, which was right behind me, and then across to another piece so I'd have that under my arm if I got any deeper. And ended up taking all the stuff out of my pockets and my jacket off, my pistol off, and my belt, tying it up in the jacket and setting it on the land, which was just right next to me, but I couldn't pull myself out. If he was there, he would have pulled me out. But so yeah, I ended up sinking just about up to my belly button before I was able to get myself freed up and start pulling myself out. I ended up wrapping my belt around a small tree next to me and around my wrist so I'd have something higher up to pull, get the right leverage, and I was able to get myself out. But it was cold. It was real cold. I wasn't ever worried I was going to be stuck permanently, but and become the bog man, one of those bog mummies. But it was a little touch and go for a little while. Had me a little nervous, but I knew I'd get out of it. All right, Bandy, we're going back out into the bog should you choose to follow me. At least after I get my pipe lit, we are. But it's this alder here that's difficult to get through, all the tangled up stuff. Which Bandy's so short, he can just walk right under it. Advantages of being a cat, I suppose. say I was smoking half and half? That's what I'm smoking. See what the ground looks like right here. So I'm just walking on these hummocks, these higher points. And the spot we're coming up on. It's very similar. This area out here, very similar to what I ended up falling into. It's got a little bit of a firmness to the top of it, but if you break through that, you go right in. So I'm going to step on that clump there and then jump over here. See, he can walk on it. He's light. But my 210 pounds is a bit much for that. Actually, I don't know what I weigh. 210 or 220, somewhere in there. A little bit more solid from here on. I stay relatively close to these ash trees like the one I'm standing next to. The ground around them is solid. But there are several water courses that run through here. They're kind of draining toward the bigger bog, which is a sphagnum moss bog. Huge bog out that way. Wouldn't necessarily recognize these water courses as streams, but that's what they are. They're muddy, slow-flowing drainages, and they're all going that way. So, even on the solid land out here, you got to know where to walk, because much of it is not as firm as it seems. It might even feel relatively stable when you first step on it, but there's not much holding it together. Like this spot here. Sometimes you start to sink or trip, slip, go to grab a tree, right yourself and find out it's not really attached either. And there's Bandy, showing off his climbing skills. Goofball. So I know I'm in the area where I left my axe, but took kind of a circuitous route getting that last log out. What I'm looking for is the cut end of a log. I had my handsaw out here and I was checking a log to see if it was solid or not, and it was punky, so I should be able to see that cut end from here. And I do. I just saw it just now. So I know my axe is pretty close to that. But this is what it looks like in here. It's real pretty. I like it. Love being out in the bog when possible. It's been really too flooded the last few years to do it. And it doesn't normally freeze solid like it did last winter, so. Adventure Kitty's over there, standing on a log drinking nasty water. That's interesting. He's usually pretty picky about his water. But I gotta do a little jumping here. You get stuff like this too. Wow! Can you see there's holes in the ground? Those are the roots. I'm watching the cat. He's freaking out over there. You gotta be careful not to step off in places like that too. So it's a little, you just got to keep your wits about you if you don't want to get wet and muddy. There's that log I was cutting up, so I know my axe is right here. 10 minutes, 59 seconds. So, let's see, I'll answer a few questions quick, not make this too long. So, a number of people keep asking me, when am I going to make more videos or whatever? Well, I make about a video a week, typically. Maybe more. But I ended up deleting them because I make videos with my phone and I really don't have room for more than one on the phone. So, uploading the videos is the problem, not making the videos. I upload my videos at my neighbor's house. He has Wi-Fi. I can't do it over my data connection. It just won't run. It just won't go. And it takes anywhere from about 3 hours to 10 hours to upload a video, depending on various factors. So I have to have my phone in my neighbor's house that whole time while that's going on. So I can't always do that. I don't always have time to not have my phone on me, and I'm not going to leave it there overnight. So that's the problem. Besides, you guys get tired of me if I made a video a week. But the other thing is, several people are asking me because of the last video I made, what's my status? Am I banned from YouTube? Am I banned from Instagram? As far as I know, I'm not banned from either of those platforms. I was banned from YouTube for a while. It looked to me like about a month. But I'm not anymore. And I suppose as long as I behave myself, I won't be. He has seen a squirrel. He's gone into stalking mode. And I still have an Instagram account. I just don't use it. In 2020, I was banned from Instagram. I think it was in July of 2020. I was banned for a few days. And after that, I just quit using it. And I realized after a couple of weeks how much better I felt mentally and how much more time I had. And after a couple of months, I thought, I don't need that. I don't need anything to do with Instagram. The only downside of it is not being able to easily communicate, especially since YouTube no longer has any kind of private message. But to me, Instagram felt like a good deal of brainwashing going on with the ads and various memes and all kinds of accounts. So when they changed it, I went from, I forget what it's called, but when the timeline changed, when you had to look at whatever they were showing you, which was all kinds of people that I wasn't following or accounts I wasn't following. Some of them turned out to be Russian and Chinese when I tracked them down. That showed up in my private, it was just supposed to be people I was sub to. And then advertising, targeted advertising. And it literally felt like brainwashing to me. So I don't need it. I don't want anything to do with it. I only keep the account because I don't want someone else running that name like they are on Twitter and a couple other places. And I use the Timber Drifter name for business purposes, so I don't want someone else using it. People are imitating me. It's ridiculous. But no, I'm not gonna get off of YouTube purposely, not unless they really change something or Facebook takes it over and screws it up like they do everything else. On that happy note, me and my cat and my axe are gonna get out of this bog. Come on, Bandit. Well, he's back on his own business, it looks like. Where'd he go? I can't see him in the camera, it's too dark. There he is. Well, y'all take care. Get outside.